my name is Lindsay Garcia, and I will be discussing this week's chapter, Power of Queer by Rain Dozier. So, for this chapter, I have 7 questions. The first is what is doing gender? The second is what role does family have with maintaining the family gender? The third is what is the unequal division of labor based on? Fourth, define heteronormativity. Fifth, what ways do institutions challenge LGBTQ folks? 6, what is queering? And 7, what are the benefits in children in lesbian-headed families? I will be discussing these questions in the next few slides. Doing gender is created in interactions with others. It's the way we perform ourselves and express ourselves to other people, and it's learned in childhood. For example, when you're a girl, you're told you can't play sports, you're dressed in pink, and all the things that we do that show that we're a girl, basically. And as a boy, you play sports, you can't cry, you dress in blue. But as we grow older, we learn new ways of doing gender that change the way we are expressing ourselves. And doing gender also changes when we're at work. For example, if you're a bartender at a bar or a club, you express your gender differently than if you were working in an office, in a cubicle. Doing gender also has an impact in the way we structure our families. So when we're little girls, we play with dolls and play with our little brooms and clean up the house, cook. And as we grow older, that is what we are fit in to do. So as mothers, that's what we do. We take care of the kids, childcare, and we clean the house, which is housework. And as men, they work and make most of the money and financially contribute to the household. When these roles are reversed and the man is doing the childcare and the housework, it's seen as remarkable because it is something that doesn't happen, and the woman should be grateful for this. But on the other hand, when the woman is making more of the income than the husband, it's seen as wrong and that the man should be making more. The unequal division of labor then is not based on biology, but a combination of behavioral expectations. So the primary earner is the person which makes the most money. So because they make more money, they won't be doing the housework and the childcare. But on the other hand, the primary parent, the one who does more childcare and housework, should be the one not making more money or working more. Although the reason this happens is because of heteronormativity. This is the assumptions and practices grounded in beliefs that heterosexuality is the norm and that individuals' sex, gender, sexual orientation, and gender social rules are congruent. Heteronormativity favors a nuclear family. This means a man and a woman and marriage. It controls behaviors of gender, and this is why we grow up doing things as a woman. For example, cleaning, dressing up a certain way, acting a certain way, and men are raised doing the other and the opposite. When these two different ways of behaving and doing our gender cross, it's looked down upon in society. It privileges biology, and it organizes social, political, and economic structures in our society. Heteronormativity also impacts institutions and how LGBTQ folks are treated by them. For example, in schools, parents are denied existence because In forms, they're asked who is the mother or the father instead of parent 1, parent 2. Medical forms usually also exclude LGBTQ folks. Legal rights are given to the biological parents rather than the ones who are treating the child better. And they are excluded from everyday activities as well. Queering is whatever is at odds with the norm, the legitimate, and the dominant. Queering destructs and destabilizes accepted ideas. It goes against the norms of society and what we've been taught. An example of this is queering motherhood. This is a mother being a single parent, primary earner, and it goes against the way mothers and motherhood has been taught in our society, because women are usually not the primary earners, and it's seen that women are supposed to be in a marriage or in a partnership with someone else and not by themselves. It's a different way of thinking. There are many benefits of lesbian-headed families. For example, in lesbian-headed families, there is egalitarian distribution. This means that everyone does equal childcare and housework and work financially. There is greater parental investments in child rearing. Both parents are taking care of the child and showing the child different aspects of life and how to live. There are fewer parental disagreements, and this is because they instill respect to each other and onto others. There's a lack of abuse compared to heterosexual families, and there is a greater social and academic competence. I've put together 7 quiz questions in order to better understand the reading and its topics. The first question is, how do families not heterosexualize the family? A. Fitting the parents into a certain gender role. B. Trying to find out who the real mother is through intrusive questioning. C. Treating the sperm donor as more significant family member than the non-biological mother. So the answer for this one is B. Trying to find out who the real mother is through intrusive questioning. Usually when there's a sperm donor, families will try to ask and see who is the real parent to the child, and would try to act as the sperm donor is the family, even if they do not want to be in the family. And they will ask many questions to the parents that will become intrusive. 2. Same-sex couples are more likely to adopt. A. Get a divorce, or C. Choose a surrogate. The answer for this one is A. Same-sex couples are more likely to adopt. 3. What is one of the main themes in research on families with same-sex partners? A. Whether the parents will have a gender reveal. B. Whether the child is more likely to be lesbian, gay, or bisexual than other children. Or C. If the parents will raise the child together. The answer for this one is B. Whether the children are more likely to be lesbian, gay, or bisexual than other children. Usually people will think that because the parents are gay, that the child will be gay, which is not the case, but usually people think this. And so in many research themes, they look at this to see if it's true or not. 4. What is queer mothering? A. An act of mothering that is transgressive. B. Fits the norm of mothers in society. Or C. Having more than 5 children. The answer for this one is A. An act of mothering that is transgressive. As we spoke about earlier, queer mothering is a way of mothering that is different from what society thinks of, and it defies the norms of society and motherhood. For number 5, the question is, gendered social positions are A. Generally ascribed to one's sex. B. Statuses one has in relation to individuals and institutions. C. A and B. the answer to number 5 is C, A, and B. So gender social positions are basically going to be what people perceive our gender is in society and how that will affect what we will be perceived as and how institutions will react to that. Number 6 is gender trouble is when a B who gets in trouble because of their gender, B, a person who doesn't identify with their gender, C, one doesn't look their gender and is doing the other gender's work. So the answer for number 6 is C, someone who doesn't look their gender and is doing the other gender's work. Number 7 is heteronormativity. A, accepts all people and sexualities. B, excludes people who are anything but heterosexual. And C, none of the above. So, as we previously spoke about, heteronormativity excludes people who are anything but heterosexual and looks down upon all others who aren't basically heterosexual. So for this readings activity, I made a word scramble in which we will unscramble key terms and words that we spoke about in this PowerPoint slide. So I'll give you a few minutes to figure that out, or you can also pause and try to see which ones are which. So for the word scramble, the first one was queering, the second was heteronormativity, third transgressive, 4 heterosexualized, 5 gendering, 6 egalitarian, and 7 homonormativity. Thank you for listening to my PowerPoint slide.